Good morning. Welcome to Joy News Desk. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemne. We're on DTT because we're free to. We're on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Coming up this morning, Kyerematen residents of the Salaga community say the torturous nature of their link road is claiming lives of unsuspecting road users while cutting them off from neighboring communities. We'll tell you what they intend to do about it to change the situation. Also, the Ghana Armed Forces and Police Service fight back claims of contracting land guards to reclaim state lands. We'll bring you details shortly as land law expert says he sees nothing wrong with the state engaging third parties to secure government lands. Plus, this morning, I am the only candidate who poses threat to the electoral fortunes of the opposition NDC in the Volta region. That's MPP's Flagbearer hopeful Kyerematen as he takes his campaign to that part of the country. We'll have more for you. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Stay for details. Residents in Kyerematen in the Salaga South municipality of the Savannah region have condemned the deplorable conditions on the Salaga Road. The residents say the road is the worst in the region, describing it as a death trap. According to them, plying the Salaga stretch demands lots of caution because of its tortuous nature.
The Kyerematen electoral area has 12 communities. A major food growing area in the Salaga South municipality. But over the years, neglect of the road has literally cut them from the rest of the world. Drivers must learn to be patient and with great care to navigate the road. For now, commercial vehicles have stopped plying the area. Therefore, to travel to Salaga or Pandai, one has to travel on a motorcycle or a tricycle. The residents say to travel with a sick person or a woman in labor, one would have to spend hours on the road, sometimes losing the patient. Assemblyman for the area, Liman Elijah, said they are currently cut off from the rest of the world. A situation, he said, is disturbing.
And looking at the road, this is a major road that supplies foodstuff to Salaga market. And when you look at it, for past months, cars cannot even go to Salaga market. It was only motorkins and other things. And anytime it rains, the motorkins cannot also go. And we only have one clinic on this route. And that clinic referred to Salaga Hospital. So referring women from here or clients from here to Salaga is also another problem. The motorkins cannot even go. So when you get a car, they will not go. So it's a problem for them to even travel. Even when it is in the night, the clients cannot go. So we are suffering. The people are suffering.
Another resident, Mbabai, lamented that the situation is unbearable.
This road is so terrible. You can ride and get to a place you cannot go again. So, if a motorbike can get stuck, imagine a vehicle. If the authorities believe we are humans, they should consider us and fix the road. Traders are losing. For us, if the road is not fixed, no vote.
Madam Mary said people continue to lose their lives on that road, especially pregnant women. This tricycle I have boarded, by the time I return, my sons will be running everywhere to either get me drugs to relieve me of pain or take me to the hospital. The roads are in terrible state. Every year, politicians come and deceive us, vote for us, we would fix your road. but nothing has been done. This bad road network has taken many of our colleagues to their early graves. Nana Kojo Pine Owusu, who had traveled from the Ashanti region to the area, could ask for only one thing: help to save lives.
So from Salaga to Grubi Quarters, in fact, the road is very bad. So during the rainy season, if the car brings some goods from Grubi Quarters to Salaga or from Salaga to Grubi Quarters, in fact, it's not easy. At times, they got accident on the road. Please, we are begging to government to maintain the road from Grubi Quarters to Salaga or Salaga to Grubi Quarters.
For these people, they have resolved that until their road is fixed, no political party is allowed into the area to campaign for the 2024 general elections. For Joy News, Martina Bugri reported.
The Ghana Armed Forces and Police Service are fighting back the minorities' claim that the government is contracting land guards to reclaim state lands. Deputy Ranking Member on the Lands and Forestry Committee, Al-Hassan Suini, told journalists at a press conference Monday that the Chief Director of the Lands Ministry, Professor Patrick Agwesinyale, had revealed to the committee that the government, including the police and armed forces, have been engaging the services of land guards to retrieve and protect state lands. But the two security agencies have mounted a strong defense, describing the claims as untrue and baseless. First, take a listen to excerpts of the Armed Forces statement read by my colleague Kweku Asante.
Unimaginable that the Ghana Armed Forces cannot protect its own lands, but rather indulge in illegality by relying on the services of land guards, a prescribed activity. The Armed Forces deem it regrettable that such reports are in the news. They also take on Al-Hassan Suini, who made this allegation and says that at least he should have taken steps to verify this. They call that the media should ignore these false claims from him.
The police have also responded to this in a statement issued Monday night, insisting that the claim is false, baseless, and unfounded and should be treated with the contempt it deserves. It reads, the police administration has taken notice of an online story published on myjournline.com in which Chief Director of Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources at a parliamentary committee meeting on July 10 is alleged to have stated that Ghana Police Service procures services of land guards to reclaim and protect its land. It goes on to say the administration would like to categorically state this claim is false, baseless, and unfounded and should be treated with the contempt it deserves. The police service has not in any occasion engaged the services of land guards to reclaim or protect its lands. In fact, on the contrary, the service has in recent times intensified its land guard operations in communities affected by the activities of these land guards, and this renewed effort will not stop until perpetrators of such illegal activities are brought to justice. Wish to assure the public that the police service, working in partnership with other security agencies, remain committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring public safety and security at all times, and we will continue to count on the support of the good people of Ghana in this regard. Meanwhile, land law expert Kwame Jan says Section 3 of the Lands Act allows government to engage the services of third parties to protect its land.
There are trespassers on public land. The authorities, which includes the Lands Ministry, the Lands Commission, and state entities, to either take steps themselves to remove trespassers or appoint duly authorized agents to do so on their behalf. So far as I am concerned, if the Ministry of Lands has a contract with a private sector actor to remove trespassers or encroachers from government lands, there is legal backing for that.
A presidential candidate hopeful of the New Patriotic Party, Alan Kojo Kyerematen, has asserted that he is the only candidate who poses a threat to the electoral fortunes of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, in the Volta region, its stronghold. He indicates the people of the region have confidence in him, considering his track record, charisma and popularity, hence would vote for him if he becomes a flag bearer of the governing party. He therefore appeals to NPP delegates in the region to endorse his candidature to enable the governing party win the 2024 general elections and maintain power. Mr. Kyerematen said this during the first day of his cluster tour of the Volta region.
The presidential hopeful Alan John Kojo Kyerematen kicked off his cluster tour of the Volta region in Sugakope, where he met delegates from South, North and Central Town constituencies. He shared with them his transformational agenda for both the New Patriotic Party and Ghana. The team proceeded to Aplau to meet delegates from Ketu South, Anglon and Keta constituencies. Mr. Kyerematen entreated delegates to impose their confidence in him as he stands tall among the 10 candidates to win power for the NPP.
I'm the only one who can stand tall to go in Volta region. True or false? You see, the people of the Volta region have always been sending a message to NPP, except that we are not hearing them. Volta region has been saying, it's not that we don't like NPP. We like NPP, but bring the right candidate. Yeah. Volta has been saying this for a long time. If you bring Alan, Volta will now fall for NPP. No, every serious person in NPP knows what I'm talking about. They know it. It's not that they don't know, they know it. All the people, the big men, the small men, everybody in NPP knows that if you take Alan, Volta region will vote for Alan. But it is in your hands. Don't let anybody deceive you.
He outlined his vision of amassing wealth for the NPP through job creation.
In 2005-2006, I have been talking about this. We are in 2023. I provided funds to every constituency to start their own business so that they can make money every month. Not only to look after the constituency, but to pay allowances to executives. 2005-2006, I was talking about how to make the party financially strong by helping them to start their own business at the constituency level. 2006. So today, when somebody deceives you that, oh, Alan, he's just working. How can you pay them? The businesses that NPP will be establishing will be stronger than what the government itself can establish.
Mr. Kyerematen and the team ended the first day of his tour of the Volta region in Juje, where he met delegates from Ketu North, Akachi South and North constituencies. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
The National Food Suppliers Association has served notice of occupying the premises of Buffer Stock Company on Thursday with their families and debtors if their monies are not paid. The group suspended an earlier action after the Education Ministry disclosed to leadership of the association that it has made a total of 400 million cedis to the Buffer Stock Company as of January 2023, meant to clear their arrears. The Greek Minister Brian Champo assured them of payment of all their validated claims today. Take a listen.
There's a promise that was given to Buffer Stock that by the 17th they will receive the set of payments that, the request that they have made to our financial authorities. That request has been met, and from the 17th they will pay them. If they have waited just about another 30 days, they will see that they would have received their money without an invitation to pick it.
But the group showed up at the Buffer Stock Company today to collect their monies. But the Chief Executive Officer for Buffer Stock Company, Haji Hanan Abdul Wahab, told them he does not deal with an association, but rather with individuals.
The Buffer Stock has not been friendly because he has told us that he doesn't want to deal with an organization. And this is unfortunate because this organization is refusing to deal with. It's just the same individual that he's interested to deal with, which are put together. So whether he deals with us as an individual or as an association, it is the money that we want paid. In any case, we are not asking that the buffer stock writes a check in the name of our association. We are asking that buffer stock pays the individual suppliers who are members of our association. So we do not require validation from the Greek minister. We do not require acceptance from him. We have accepted ourselves. We have come together as an association to project and fight for our interests. So whether he accepts or not, we don't really have a qualm about that.
Spokesperson for the food suppliers, Koku Amedome, has vowed to picket at the premises of the buffer stock till the arrears are cleared.
If after Thursday we don't receive our money, I want to bring to notice here that we will resume our picketing. And when we get there, we will not listen to any advice from any honorable member. So come back with our families, we come back with our dependents, we come back with our creditors. It is going to be more massive than what we saw earlier. The whole of Thursday, we're bringing our bags, bringing everything to buffer stock. Failure to pay our money, we will sleep. Not failure to pay, but failure to pay in full. We will sleep till we get full settlement of our money.
Now, if it's taking you years to secure an ECG meter for your house or shop, brace yourself because the power distributor says the lack of cash is making it difficult for it to acquire and make them available to you. That is according to the managing director of ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee sitting. The issue of assessing the meters remains a problem for many, with those with readily available money unavailable to get them from the ECG. We will hear from him shortly, but first, a seamstress, Josephine Boidi, whose meter was part of some 3 meters stolen from an electric pole in Odoko official town over a month ago, said the ECG is yet to replace the meter.
That they told us to come and pay 500 cedis each. After that, they will bill us and tell us what we should pay every month. After that, they will come and install the light for us. I wasn't understand about that 500 because I thought it should be a down payment for the light that we are using with that meter, but it wasn't like that. They said we should pay. And I asked, is it payment for the meter? They said no, we are not paying for the meter, but we have to pay that 500 to their coffers. That's the ECG account. So you have to go make that payment. They do the estimate and give you bill before they connect it to you.
So did they do the connection for you? Did they fix the meter? It's been 1 month. Did they fix the meter for you?
It wasn't a meter. They fixed it straight from the pole.
So they came to do a direct connection for you?
Yeah.
Which means that you are using electricity now, but it is not read through any meter?
No. It's not going through any meter. It's direct from the pole.
You say it's the ECG who came to do it for you? Which of the offices?
Botiano. Yeah.
When did they tell you they will come and fix the meter back for you?
They told me there's meter at the office, but they are working on it. So they can't give me exact time that they will bring the meters. Yeah.
So for 1 month, you have been using the direct connection without any meter. How much do you pay?
500 cedis a month. 150 cedis a month. Yeah.
So you did a down payment of 500 cedis, and then you are now paying 150 cedis a month. Is that what you used to pay every time?
No, even in a month, I use less than 100 cedis. I told the lady who was the estimate room, but he said if I can't pay the 150, they should leave me. Yeah. Yeah, if I can't pay. They don't know what to do again.
The issue of difficulty in accessing ECG meters came up during the Public Accounts Committee sitting yesterday when the ECG Managing Director, Dubik Mahama, appeared before the committee. Ngo Prampram MP Sam George first raised the issue about how one of his constituents has been waiting for 2 years to be given a meter. He got a response from the ECG MD. Watch what transpired.
It is not your business to manage vehicles. Why is it your business to be selling meters? Your business is to sell power. So why are you selling meters and not creating enough meters? There are no meters in the system. There are people, it's a public interest question. There are people in my constituency. Yesterday I had a town hall meeting and someone brought me receipts for 2 years that he has paid to the Prampram ECG office for 12 meters for his shopping complex and he hasn't received it. If such a person decides to engage in illegal connection, does that not create a problem? In the telecom space, I don't need to go to MTN or Vodafone to buy a phone. I buy my phone, they give me connection. They are smart meter operators. In fact, the biggest smart meter manufacturer in West Africa is in my constituency, really? Alpha T&D. So why don't you allow them sell their meters? Any Ghanaian who wants a meter should go and buy a meter from an electrical shop. Then ECG comes in. Chief, we are talking serious matters with for our constituents. You sell these meters and then let ECG engineers come in, check the standard. If it meets your requirement, you connect them. But why are you holding on to meters and people can't get meters for 2 years? And you complain that you're not making your revenue.
What is preventing you from buying more meters? Money. We lack. So why don't you allow the private people to buy it?
So that will be PURC. Honorable Chair, PURC would now have to make a clear pronouncement on the way forward because our hands are tied.
Okay.
Our hands are tied as to we saying a private person should purchase it. But it's clear that the private person is willing to pay for the market price. So why are we still holding on to a subsidized, So these are all conversations that we are ready to listen to. So we've also started the flat rate program. So what we intend doing within this 11 to 11 period is to actually visit every home. Those who've actually applied and we haven't given them meters, we are sorry, but we will put you on a flat rate until such a time that the meter is ready, then we come and replace it for you because nobody can consume power at zero. In light of this, thanks to the PURC tariff,
members of the committee, Ngo Prampram MP Sam George and Kwame Agbojas recommended to the PURC to consider licensing private individuals to take up the sale of the meters.
Honorable Chair. So Chairman, I think that one of the requests I will make to you on the back of this is for our report that goes to the plenary, for us to consider making a recommendation to PURC to look at the possibility of allowing private individuals that are licensed or certified either by PURC or ECG to a certain standard to put meters on the market, because this is becoming a major crisis that's affecting even the viability of ECG.
I totally agree. I think I agree with him that it is not his fault. But I think the average person in my constituency would prefer to buy the meter twice the price and know that he can get that meter within a day than the 1, 2, 3 years that he's been waiting and can't get a meter. So we need to take it up and then we see what we can do about it. It is just not fair when you don't have money to buy meters and people have their money and you can't even get the meters to buy. As for the technology, the ability to, program the meters, you can just tell them how to manufacture. To me, there are many products in this country that are manufactured to a certain standard, and then we leave it. I think that will be a best way forward.
All right.
National security is intensifying surveillance at the country's border with neighboring Burkina Faso following the arrest of some alleged refugees dressed as nurses and mothers, but a thorough search found weapons and ammunition on them. It is unclear their real intentions in Ghana, but Deputy Defense Minister Kwame says the development has pushed the security agencies to tighten the search on asylum seekers. Speaking on the probe on Joy News, Mr. Mensah said government will not sacrifice the safety of Ghanaians for the rights of the asylum seekers in its quest to safeguard the borders of the country.
We are not targeting anybody. We
are not targeting people seeming to be Fulani headsmen.
Surprisingly,
MFA, amongst others.
I mean, we have Fulanis who are Ghanaians. We've lived with Fulanis in Ghana, only God knows how long. And so, for me, it would be absurd if we now go out there to target them. It doesn't make sense. Okay. But as I said, we have a complex issue on our hand. And so we need to screen whoever is coming in. If you are coming in and then you genuinely deserve assistance, we, based on the 1951 Refugee Convention, we will do what is expected of us. But when you don't, then we also, because all the operations the national security military is doing in collaboration with the various RESEC is based on intelligence. Okay. And so as and when we pick intelligence, we deal with the issues. I think that, I mean, I need to say, there have been instances where I have seen pictures of women carrying babies, less than a year. And as part of their luggages, you'll be surprised, ammunitions, carrying ammunitions. And then you have guns and other things, hidden in certain part of cattle and all that. By, man, husband, yes. Okay. So we really need to be on the lookout because, as I said, we have the Ghanaian people to protect. Okay. We have a country to protect. We have properties to protect. We cannot say that because we want to be compassionate, we will not look at the security of our nation.
Ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, James Agalga, said government has every right to screen the refugees, but also be mindful of international treaties that protect the rights of the asylum seekers.
Government is very much aware of its commitments under my brother spoke about the 1961 Refugee Convention and its related protocols. Government clearly has a commitment not to, as it were, repatriate refugees who are, properly speaking, refugees to countries where they may face very serious threats to their life and fundamental freedom. So that is a principle that I am sure they are very, very much aware of. We call that the principle of non-refoulement. It's the cornerstone of the 1951 Refugee Convention. But, MFA, having said that, it does not mean that the government cannot screen refugees who enter our country. Okay. They have every right to screen the refugees to ensure that those who come in and seek asylum in our country because of the crisis in the neighboring countries are genuine refugees. Because there are examples where people masquerade as refugees, and at the end of the day, it turns out that they are actually terrorists who disguise themselves just to infiltrate the frontiers and cause mayhem in our country. And so when they have credible intelligence, and remember that we have an arrangement in place, even with the government of Burkina Faso and other neighboring countries, where intelligence is shared amongst the participants of, say, the Accra Initiative. And so when some credible intelligence has been shared and the security apparatus decide to embark upon some operations, I think that we need to support them.
So far, the Ghana Refugees Board has registered 3,200 Burkinabés seeking asylum in Ghana. Executive Secretary of the board, Tete Kwapadi, says they are in the process of undertaking compulsory movement of all the refugees to a designated reception center for thorough screening.
So far, we have registered about 3,200 Burkinabés who have indicated their intention to seek asylum here. We are still in the process of registering more people who are coming in. What I can confidently say is that none of the Burkinabés that we have registered has been sent back. Neither have any of those that we know intend to seek asylum, those who declared their intention at the borders as they entered. Even though they haven't been registered yet, none of those people have been sent back to Cote d'Ivoire. That I can confidently say.
We're still live on Joy News Desk. We're coming to you from our studios in Kokomlemle on Fan of our Streets. Let's take a break. There is more when we return. Welcome back to Joy News Desk to the rest of our stories. A member of the Rapid Response Team of the Forestry Commission in the Bono region is missing. Vitus Yodong went missing during an operation in the Asokese Forest Reserve in the Sonyain district of the Forestry Commission. The team was dispatched to arrest some illegal chainsaw operators in one of the forest reserves. Vitus is believed to have excused himself to attend the nature's call in the bush but never returned. All attempts by the response team to find him have proved futile. The CEO of the Forestry Commission, John Alote, said the commission has reported the incident to the police to assist in investigation.
On the 2nd of July this year, it's a Nkrofobi Esokese Forest Reserve. It was Sunyani district of the Forestry Commission. And the Rena dispatch rapid response team. And Omukoho no Omuko who see some small tower, a friend in Dadom, about 200 pieces somewhere Yegunche. And the Omyoman some safe ho. Now more can be around. I say be some of the microphone illegal logging around. Almost had to say chainsaw. Juma or forest more and Tom years some quackfree almost do na microphone journey by who chainsaw machines bear say 3 and Tom saw mobile no almost a bed in Kakran when 2 of the workers no your mom is some easy of Kakra and after some time no first one by second one a friend Vitus you don't know or no amba. And the almost check a crowd who know almost started some no Omuno, and I see also on the second issue to papa. Nice you talk and Jomugusa up to 10 o'clock villages near Bimbeno, Echo Jab messages and you no more so becao and Mamo searching for that side of the forest. This are more Ehuno. Since then, you report to to the police. You contacting most of the communities, any chiefs, Amo Bimbe, forest, no, Bimo crack, I said this perform some traditional rites, and up to now, who colleague worker, Vitus Yondo, and the microphones with Dija. Baby, I want to know the rapid response phone. So if you want to have a come going to there was Nyani rapid response team, Doma rapid response team, and Dija rapid response team. 3 na as you can see forest no day and night. Akonya so I'm a community sending crowd around as you can see forest say that no any Atronie in Suta any all those communities who say obinya any information about the work I are now passing on to us.
So you heard the CEO explaining what exactly transpired, and he said, according to his colleagues, they were together in the forest, and after Vitus decided to ease himself in the forest and never returned, they've been looking around for him And on that fateful day, he says that it rained heavily, but they still looked around for him in neighboring villages, both in the forest and neighboring villages. He said they brought 3 teams to look for viters, and they've left information for whoever sets eyes or have any information on him to make it known to them. Paul Derry is a relative of Vitus Yodong. He joins us live with more. Paul, so far, has the police given you any information about the whereabouts of your relative? Hello, Paul?
Hello?
Yes, Paul. So far, what have you gathered as to the whereabouts of your colleague, your relative? Okay, your niece.
We have not had...
Your nephew.
Yes. For now, we have not had any good piece of news yet. But what is actually happening is that we are still on the search. Even currently, as I'm talking with you, we are at the office preparing to leave, to go to the forest to go and continue with the search. Even though we left some of our people in the forest already. Yesterday, we left some of the forest guards in the forest. And then we came home, and this morning we are just preparing to leave again for the place.
Before Derry left for this operation, did he speak with any member of the family?
You mean Vitus?
Vitus, yes, please.
Yes, actually, he didn't speak with anybody. You know, it's an operation. It's normal work. We've been talking, but like, you know, this is their daily kind of activity.
Mm. And there was at any point...
Sorry?
Did he at any point in time during the operation speak with anybody that you know of?
Yes, he has been speaking with, you know, the family members more or less.
No, I'm saying that during this operation, whilst he went into the forest, none of your family members has reported that he called or something?
When he was at the place, you know, that's what I'm saying. We cannot actually tell whether at the time he was at the operation that he spoke with this person or not. But the thing is that he calls from time to time to speak with people.
Okay.
So at the time he was actually at the operation, normally when they are at the operation ground, they are not allowed to speak anyhow like that. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Derry.
So, yes, so at the time, expect him to be speaking with people anyway.
Mm. So far, how has the collaboration between you, the team, the search team, and the police been?
Yes, it has been so good. You know, for about 2 weeks now, we've been with them. And then every now and then we go together to the forest to go and search. Sometimes we sleep over there, you know, 2-3 days before we come back. And from now I can say Forestry Commission has done so well, and they are doing everything within their power to make sure that we get at the district and my nephew. But the truth of the matter is that the sacrifices, in fact, we cannot quantify. They are actually doing very well, and the collaboration is also very, very perfect, because they take us everywhere. Everywhere they go, we follow them, and then we actually, you know, see the sacrifices they are making towards this particular thing. And we are very grateful to God for their lives anyway.
Well, Mr. Derry, we wish you all the best as you keep searching for your nephew. And we hope that something good will come out of the search. Paul Derry is uncle of the missing Forestry Commission staff. Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, we'll bring you business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. Government has finally kick-started the process to restructure local dollar bonds and cocoa bills totaling almost 18.2 billion cedis. This was after it officially launched what is being described as the second round of domestic debt exchange program. George Rafi has more.
For the local dollar bonds, which is directly being led by the Finance Ministry in terms of the offer, government is seeking to restructure $809 million worth of bonds. Investors that are holding these papers have from last Friday to July 28, 2023 to take a decision whether they want to participate in the offer. However, the Ministry of Finance have already secured the necessary commitment from commercial banks and some institutional investors that hold majority of these papers. But one is still not sure whether the offer could be successful come next Friday. The Ministry of Finance is hoping that the new dollar bonds will mature on 2 separate years. 50% of the payment to be done in 2027 and the rest in 2028. The cocoa bill, which government is seeking to restructure almost 8 billion Ghana cedis, is led by CalBank in terms of handling the whole process. The offer will close by July 31. Holders of these papers that decide to participate in the offer will have each bond exchanged for 5 new papers with an aggregate principal amount rounded up to 1 Ghana cedi. The Ministry of Finance argues that it needs to carry out this second round of domestic debt restructuring to help reduce the country's debt and unlock additional funding from the International Monetary Fund.
Meantime, economist Professor Lord Mensah is urging investors to consider government's offer of restructuring local dollar bonds and cocoa bills, insisting it will help in reprofiling Ghana's debt whilst it unlocks additional funding from the IMF. According to him, investors are better off signing up for the deal. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Mensah urged government to be proactive with information on the restructuring of the local dollar bonds to win the trust of investors.
From the investor's perspective, you know, if you are going to lose your money completely, I mean, let's assume you don't accept this and government, but then the only problem with government is that in as much as the investors are going to sacrifice, they may want to see the government behaving like a government that owns, you know, not necessarily a government that, you know, squeeze the people and in the end, the government will be, you know, flushing, you know, things out and then wasting money here and there. But from where I sit, right, and from the principles of finance, if you are going to lose your money completely through, I mean, banks, the country should declare bankrupt, then you are better off that the country will restructure, you know, and then possibly prolong your debt. So from where I sit, I think it's an offer that we may have to consider as investors and then possibly sacrifice in a short term, short to medium term for long term, you know, prospects for the country. So I think it has to do with communication as well. And if the communications are not clear, that is when the investor community, I mean, seem to lose trust in the government. And when they lose trust, whatever you put on the table, they will take it with a pinch of salt.
All right.
But if you, I mean, turn up to come out clear with information, I mean, if it comes about that you have to pay, you know, I mean, certain principal and certain coupons and you need to pay it exactly on time, I think you build that trust with them, and whatever you put on the table has to do with negotiation.
All right.
Now, the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Benjamin Boakye, is optimistic the increased crude oil production by Tullow Oil will impact the economy positively. Crude oil production from the Jubilee oil field has finally surpassed 100,000 barrels a day. According to Tullow, this is after Jubilee Southeast project came on stream. However, Mr. Boakye indicated the need for government to implement policies and attract investments to sustain production.
It's good news for Ghana because it brings us back to perhaps 2019 production level. You know, Ghana has declined in oil production. We lost about 20 million barrels a year since 2019. And therefore, having additional flows from Jubilee then brings us back to around 170, 175,000 barrels of oil a day, which should be good. I mean, particularly in this hard economic time where government revenues are constrained and we're looking for, you know, additional sources of revenue. that could be a game changer for the economic situation that we're in. So to that extent, it's good news. But again, these are early days. We'll have to also look at what has gone into bringing up, extra 30,000 barrels of oil. We thought about $4 billion have already been spent. We need to carefully look at what that means for cash flow for Ghana. If they have to offset that kind of investment, then how much are we looking for on a year-on-year basis? Those are dynamics that we'll have to look into in the coming days. It's been on hold for some time. I mean, they should have completed that phase, I think, 2016, 17, thereabouts. So it's actually delayed in commercializing the entire field and doing that development. So it's been on the drawing board. I mean, there are other fields that could have come at this point to make us much richer and better, which we have failed to actually deliver on. And a typical one will be the deepwater tunnel, which just got approval for development. And other fields like Block 4, which should have been fast-tracked to also bring on additional oil production. Those didn't see any policy actions that could quickly bring that on stream. So, yes, this is good news, but there are other actions, policy actions that are required to ramp up oil production, perhaps to create that cushion that we need at this critical moment.
And that's it for this segment. The news continues after this break.
And that's how we wrap up Joy News Desk this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. You know where to get more news and updates of all the developing stories. It's on myjoyonline.com. Some of the stories you will see: Chief Justice asked to probe court registrar for dishonest conduct, and no MPP Flagbearer aspirant can hold a stake to Mahama Kwachu Fusu jabs back at the NPP.